Hey guys, so are the housing prices continuing to plummet, or is this a month-to-month fluctuation that's completely normal? Markets do change month to month, so it's important to look at the long-term trends and watch videos like this one to stay up to date on the housing market, because it does shift always. And if you're thinking of buying or selling, it's critical to either know or to have an agent that knows about all of this so you can make the best decisions when you go for it. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Joe Skipper and I'm the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty out of Oregon. And today we're not only going to cover some of the important stats that real estate agents look at to determine a healthy market, but also I'll give you my opinions and advice on these numbers so that you can make the best financial decisions for you and your particular goals. This video is going to be a great way for you to stay up to date with the latest in the Oregon housing market. So like and subscribe to the page and keep in the know with all of this stuff. So I live in Wilsonville, Oregon, but I serve the greater Willamette Valley and have sold homes all the way from Monmouth to Salem, Kaiser, Portland, and I'll even head to Madras or Klamath Falls if you need me to do it. So if you live in an area outside of Wilsonville, I have these cool programs that'll help you figure out the stats in your city and your neighborhood and help you to determine whether your city is on the uptrend or the down. And I'm always happy to chat over the phone about it, so call me and we can talk about your city in particular when you want to. And as always, my friend and lender Paul Robinson is on this week again to talk about the mortgage side of things and what is going on there. So stay tuned if you want to know more about that stuff. Mortgages and lending rates are hot topics right now because they are so high, but Paul and his team give valuable information and can help you navigate these rates and get you into a home that you may not think that you can handle at these particular rates. I know this because he has helped my family and friends and clients do it all the time, so stay tuned. Now, one thing we look at when we want to know what's happening over a certain period of time is to look at the median sold price of homes. Now in Wilsonville, the median price dropped again from May to June of this year to $629,000. That's almost a 12% drop since last month. Now with prices dropping over the last 3 months, is this going to be a trend for the time to come? Maybe. We did see in March prices go to $630,000 and jump back up, so I'll keep an eye on that to see what's gonna happen longer term. It was a drop from this time last year at the same time as well. So this trend nationwide is happening depending on where you live, and we are seeing prices start to stabilize as rates stay high and inventory increases. Now another trend that we look at is the days on market to see if the homes are sitting a bit longer and if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now homes are sitting on the market longer for sure. Wilsonville generally is a hot city and homes sell fairly quickly here, but even here they aren't going off the shelves too fast unless they're priced right. The days on market did drop this month, 23 days, down from 30 last month and 32 last year. Now this 90 days on market is nothing to worry about and it generally hovers around this number of days locally. Now in my opinion, the homes that are sitting on the market longer are still holding on to the prices that they thought they could get a year ago. That's just not the case unless your home has something special to offer a buyer. Make sure you and your agent talk about the current market and make the right choices on pricing right away so it gets the most buyers into it in the very beginning. Because the longer it sits on, the less people are gonna see it and the less they want to pay. So pricing it right the first time actually really matters. Now it's taking more strategy and better marketing techniques to get your home sold right now. Putting a sign in the yard by your buddy who got their license a week ago isn't working like it used to. Luckily, our company uses a team of experts in marketing tactics that work to get your home in front of the most people. Now, onto the inventory. Now, it's interesting because we see a big drop in inventory this month from 37 homes last month to 22 this month. Now, normally we think that inventory would increase in the summer, but it's not necessarily the case. Spring is great for homes, and though summer's not bad, it does generally decrease a bit in the summer and then picks back up in the fall again. So this many homes is normal for our area at this time. The Wilsonville market is still strong and things are going along smoothly here. Now I'll keep an eye on the pricing to see if it's a trend or is this an actual market fluctuation that we will normally see month to month. But I'm done for now, but Paul wants to say something, so here you go, Paul.
Hey, thanks, Joe. This is Paul Robinson, owner and loan officer at Greater Oregon Mortgage Company, mortgage brokerage that's licensed to lend in the states of Oregon and Washington. My personal NMLS number is 235238. I thought we'd talk about funds to close, which are basically the money needed to buy a home. The interesting part of funds to close is that they just can't come from anywhere. They have to come from acceptable sources. And in the guideline, it literally reads acceptable source or unacceptable source. So I wanted to review those. So what are some of the acceptable sources? I mean, most people know things like bank accounts, checking, savings, money markets, CDs, things like that. The other is investment accounts, of course. You can have mutual funds, stocks, bonds, anything like that. Another is gifts from family members, or, and really in recent times too, guidelines have been expanded where you can have a gift from somebody that's not a family member, but is very close in your world. And then another is retirement accounts you can pull from your Roth IRA, your IRA, but also when you work for a company, you'll have a 401k, and a lot of those programs will allow you to borrow funds for the purchase of a home, as well as a 403b. There are some programs that are underneath 403b that will do the same. So the list is broad, but now there's unacceptable sources. So the unacceptable sources are literally cash. Greenbacks, cannot use those. And in a lot of the areas that I work that are more rural, it's real common for people to literally have cash in their safe. And unfortunately, cash, they can't use it, which is crazy, but you cannot use cash. Another one people will think they can do is, I'll take the money needed to buy this house, I'll use my credit card, or I have a personal line of credit. Can't do any of that. Anything that's considered unsecured debt, cannot do. So that list of unacceptable items that I just mentioned reminded me that another acceptable sources are secured loans. When someone has like an automobile or a camp trailer or a boat or anything that they have good equity in or they own free and clear, and they can go to their bank or they can go to their credit union and they can get a loan on that, so it's secured by that item, that's an acceptable source as well. All right, so now you know where you can pull your money from. So now becomes the task of documenting where your money's going to come from. So what you have to do on the source, on your funds to close, you have to show the most recent 60 days a history on the account or accounts that you're going to use. So let's say it's a bank statement. They come monthly. So let's say give us the most recent 2 months of bank statements. Let's just say it's an investment account, and well, those come quarterly. So it would be the most recent quarterly statement. That's what they would require. Important to know on the statements is that if no matter how many pages, the underwriter has to have every page. And even if the last page is literally blank, what they're looking for is that, let's say said there's 12 pages, they're looking for page 12 of 12. And even though it's blank, what it does tell them is that, well, there wasn't anything on that page that we should have known about. All right, some of the other things that underwriters are tasked with when they're reviewing statements are they have to look for large deposits, and they have to look for what they would call undisclosed debts. So let's start with large deposits. Large deposits mean there's deposits that don't indicate where they're from, and they are more than 50% of someone's monthly income. If those things fit, then what you, the borrower, will have to do is get the details of the deposit to show where it came from. Now, and the other, like I said, the other thing that they look at are undisclosed debts. And that would be because they have 2 months of statements. If they see something that's a reoccurring expense that is not showing up in your liabilities on your application, does not show up on your credit report, but it appears that it's an ongoing bill, then they have to ask, what's that? They have to do a letter of explanation on those. Now, and here's an important tip, and why I really like to see people send their money directly from the account or accounts that they want it to come out of directly to title. Because I've had clients that will take their money and they prefer to send it over to maybe their checking account, and so they can just, if you will, a tracking thing. I want to put everything in my checking account, and then that way it's easier for me to track. Well, by doing that, you've added a new account to the mix, and so because that account is part of the process now, part of the system where how the money flowed, the underwriter is forced to say, well, okay, on that account I have to have 60 days of statements, and I have to look at that to see if there's any large deposits that we have to source and say what they're from, as well as, are there any reoccurring bills that we're seeing that aren't showing up on the application or on the credit bureau. So each account that gets added to the mix, they have to go through that whole cycle, which means you have to go through that whole cycle. So just to keep it simple, easy, clean, I say choose the account or accounts you want to use. Don't move any money anywhere. And at the end, we'll have the money that you need to close your loan go directly from that account or accounts directly to title and directly into your specific escrow account for the purchase of the property that you're making. All right, I hope all that made some good sense. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions about that or anything else, feel free to reach out to me on my email at paul@gomcloans.com. All right, thanks.
I want you to get the highest return on your home when you list it. And I also want you as a buyer to get the best deal on a home when you're buying. So staying informed on this stuff is the only way to make it easier for you to digest it all before you go into a sale. Or if you just want someone to give this information to you regularly, my team and I are here to help you with that as well so that you don't have to. If you want to know what it's like to sell or buy with SRG, comment buy or comment sell below, and I'll send you our guides for free about what it's like to have me in your life for the sale of your next home. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my page so that you can stay up to date with the latest on the Oregon housing market. Thanks, guys.